Jim, first of all, tell us about your new signings since on deadline day and why you brought them to the club.
Yeah, well, obviously we've been looking to get fresh, bodies in and fresh blood. Toby's coming from Altrincham, a player that we've been watching, very highly regarded at the level. Was a bit of a late developer, been a crew coming through the ranks there, but been one of the best players in that division over the last couple of years. Everyone speaks really highly of him, as I say. Athletic, good size, pace, can handle the ball, aggressive. So he ticks a lot of boxes and gives us another option in that area. We brought Dan Adsell in from Cheltenham as well. Again, knows the club, good player. We try to inject a little bit of new blood into all areas of the pitch, in all departments, and a little bit of everything, with what we've brought in already and what we brought in before that with Jake and Danny Lloyd. So, Danny, as I say, gives us a competition in the middle of the park. It was an area that we've been trying to strengthen from day one, really. We've missed out on quite a lot of targets, and there's a few moving parts on deadline day, potential one or two going out, potential one or two coming in. And we do need bodies in there, so we've got Dan in. He's got a little bit of a knock at the minute, so whether this weekend comes a little bit too early for him, we'll see. But it's good to have him back at the club where it all started for him, and gives us a different option and different qualities that we've already got in there. So we're pleased to have them both on board. We've tried to do one or two others. As I say, we've missed out on a lot of targets over the last couple of weeks, and come Tuesday, we've got to take everything into consideration around potential outs, potential ins, finances. As I say, Tuesday was one hectic day, but I'm pleased with what we did in the end.
In terms of people like Dan, like Reece, you mentioned already you've seen a little bit of spirits lifted with Reece coming back in as well, and the two new lads, of course, who played last weekend. In terms of the window itself, sort of two questions. How big was that Tuesday for you in terms of not just the signings, but thinking this is what I'm going to have between now and the end of the season? And secondly on that, do you think now you've got a squad that is capable of improving on what's been so far?
Well, as I say, we're pleased with what we brought in. Danny Lloyd was a good one to come in. He's obviously a little bit before. Last week we had a positive week with Reece Bennett and obviously the two younger lads, Hindamani and Owen, so showed up really well on Saturday. Reece, everyone knows at the club anyway, he's a good solid citizen, experience again, something probably what we need. So we're pleased with what we've got. Yeah, ideally wanted one or two more, but we're not a bottomless pit of money. We've just had to use what we've got available, try and juggle a few things on. One or two players have gone out, one or two more potentially will follow. But we are where we are now. There's still one or two free agents knocking around that we're exploring. One potentially might come on and train with us next week to try and improve us further, because as I say, there's moving parts all the time. Tuesday was a hectic day, as I said. Potential outs frees up a little bit more money, to invest back in, but you're waiting for the move from somewhere else, and it's all to players, and it was just a mad day. But it's been like that for the last few weeks, to be fair. But we've got a team in now that, yeah, we're at the wrong end of the table for whatever reason, but it was an opportunity for us to shake the squad up. It's proven that the team or the squad, the record doesn't lie. We're in a position that we don't want to be in. It was important that we got fresh blood into the squad to give everyone a lift. There's evidence of that. I think there was evidence with regards to performances on Saturday. There was evidence certainly in training again today. Another couple of bodies coming in suddenly puts everyone on the toes a little bit more. So we want competition for places. We definitely needed fresh blood. As that's reflected in the position that we're in. And hopefully, when we get the new players onto the pitch, we can have a positive effect and we can start moving up the table.
There's a big few weeks for you. There's some tough fixtures in there. Salford away, their home form's improved as well. But that being said, you're only inches away really in terms of offside decision and thing from not losing to Carlisle at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm not the type to make excuses, and I always say it is what it is, but when you look back on the goals, certainly Ian Henderson's had ruled out for offside. I think that's 3 in home games in the last few weeks, or the last few games, which is the difference between nicking a point or 3 in there, which again has a hell of a difference on the position that we find ourselves at the minute. So we have the privilege of being able to look back on the game and see things, and for me it's a blatant red card on Saturday, and it was seen because the lad received a yellow. I think it's borderline with regards to the goal. If you've seen it, he's done extremely well, but it's the whole thing around it with regards to the goal was given, and the next thing there's a big controversy and a big chat about whose head did it come off, etc. And man's got to do better in that position. If it's offside, it's offside straight away for me. It doesn't need to be a goal, or we'll go over and double check that it was a goal. So there's all that to take into consideration, and we've been a little bit hard done by in that regard. I think as I say, we can look back over games and we've seen evidence where we're going, we should be getting a little bit more than what we're getting. And I think in the main, every game's been tight. I don't think we deserve to lose the game against Carlisle, but we did. But after the winning midweek, they've now moved into the automatic promotion places, I think. So we're pushing a very good Carlisle side all the way, and arguably should have got something from the game. We've beaten Bradford recently, who were the biggest club in the division and one of the favourites. We're playing Salford at the weekend. We've already beat them in the Papa John's. We beat them in the league, both 1-0. So they'll be cautious of us, they'll be wary. They'll know that we've got some fresh blood in. They'll know that we've got players that can hurt them. So every game, we can look at the run that we're coming into now, but we've beaten some good sides this year. So we've got to embrace the challenges that come with Salford next. As I say, we've got a good record against them this year. And they're under their own pressure at the top end of the pitch. An ambitious club, they're probably looking at getting out of the division. At the minute we're looking at staying in the division, so we're both under pressure for different reasons. But I've been at this level as a player for many years and as a manager. Anyone's capable of beating anyone else, so we need to make sure we go with that mindset and that positive outlook on things. Hopefully a little bit of lady luck comes our way as well. Hopefully we get the rub of the green, which probably deserted us, which people always say that's the type of thing that goes against you when you're in the position that we're in. But we've got to make our own luck. We've got to make sure that we come out with those little rub of the greens and make sure that we get above that fine dividing line that most of the games have been recently. So we're capable. We'll go there and give it our best shot, and hopefully we can get a win. We certainly need it.
Is this the biggest challenge of your managerial career?
Good question. Again, when I was at Morecambe, we went through a lot of hard times, not so much just on the field, but off the field as well. And when players weren't getting paid wages, and the club were getting threatened with not just administration, but more, even worse than that. And you've seen what's happened even down the road. Horrible to see the way it went for the likes of Bury. Bigger clubs have felt it, and luckily stayed and regrouped and got back to where they should be, the likes of Bolton. But yeah, that was really, really tough at the time. You're not getting paid for a few weeks, and there's loads of concern and negativity around not just what was going on the pitch, that probably come a second to what was going off the pitch. So that was really hard to manage, but the position that we're in has been the hardest in regards to the league. But it's tight and still a lot of football to play, so as I say, we can't listen to the noise and the negativity. It is what it is. We've got to take it on the chin. We've got to keep working and keep striving to find a way to get results. But almost a criticism, it's natural. I don't do social media, but I get told certain bits of other people on. It's human nature. I'm an Evertonian. I'm going to be critical. I know the position as a fan. I have my thoughts on Everton at the moment, but you've just got to put all your energies into the next game and make sure that the working environment remains positive. We're training well. We make sure that every game that comes we look forward to. We don't fear anyone, because once you start down yourself fearing, don't get the right things done in a week, then you're going to start
But
struggling.
can he turn fear sometimes into motivation? I once heard a manager, I think it was David Ortell at Crewe, said if we go out in the Football League, it's oblivion.
Yeah.
And that fear, he said, he used that to try and turn things around. Can the fear of a club like this, and the threat, knowing what's happened to other clubs who go into the National League, can that turn into, can we turn, turning the players' kind of minds into motivation?
100%. I think that's you're right in what you're saying there. That's that you've got to do, because if you fear and then you start feeling the fear and panicking and thinking, you're down before you. It's pointless just getting on the coach to go to Salford on Saturday, the next game. So we've got to use that energy and that, as you say, the mindset it's a powerful thing. I'm certainly in that mode myself, and I like to think that the staff and the players will reflect that. Because if we didn't, it's pointless me doing this interview, pointless me being here, I may as well go and do something else. So that's the challenge that lies await in waiting for us. But again, if we go back to my Morecambe days at the same level, when we weren't getting paid and everything was stacked against us and there was threats of club going into administration, liquidation, I think we went 5 or 6 games unbeaten. So it was a siege mentality and everyone's got to get behind you, but then the fans play the part as well. So they're massive to us. We need them now more than ever. I can understand people's concerns and negativity and aimed at the club in general, the staff, myself, the players. Certain players take more stick than others. I get that. Players are just going to make sure that they get on with the job and hand. I was told of one recently where Quigley was having a nibble with the goalkeeper up the Hartlepool, and it was seen as our fans, they was laughing and joking with the goalkeeper. I can assure everyone there was ongoing issues there with time wasting and an issue with Anthony Rodney at the time, which could have resulted in a yellow or red card, and it was more aggression than kindness and friendship. He doesn't even know the fella, so that was like a coming together, but it's perceived that he doesn't care. The players care. They all have the different ways, and they'll all be taken differently or liked or disliked differently. That's the nature of football. And the players, myself, the staff, we've all got to take that fear, as you say, of the position that we're in and turn it into a positive energy. It is all hands to the pump. It is all roll your sleeves up and come out fighting. And as I say, we need the fans right behind us because they can play the part. No doubt there'll be in good numbers on Saturday. There'll be a good voice and we'll get behind the team. I remember mentioning away at Bradford, biggest ground in the league, and suddenly they're the only fans we could hear. And that was, even when it was difficult, we were 1-0 down. So we need them, whether we're up, whether we're down, whether we're under the cosh, whether we're on top in the game, whether we're creating chances and scoring goals, whether we're clinging on. For that 90 minutes or 90 plus minutes, we need every one of those single fans that support Rochdale, home and away, to be right behind us. If they've got any negativity or concerns or whatever, you go home, you get on the social media, you get on your message boards or whatever it may be, and they can voice their concerns then. But for that time from 3 o'clock onwards till 4:45, whatever it may be, or 8:15 on a Tuesday, we need them flat out with us to push us on, to get us to get results, to get us away from the position that we find ourselves.